1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
Game 294, Marlins at Giants.
Welcome back, baseball fans. 71-74 Carryover League. We are back in the National League today, and we're back across divisions. Interleague play is over with. Now we've got a few more series going across divisions, and then we'll finish up with a ton of intra-division battles. We got an intriguing series between the Florida Marlins and the San Francisco Giants. So Florida Marlin expansion team, of course, but they are an intriguing cast, not playing winning baseball. The Giants were the hottest team in the National League to begin the season, and then they've started to slump. Let's take a look at the current standings, and we'll go through this series. The current standings in the National League East, the Marlins are 7-11. They are theoretically still alive for a playoff spot, I suppose. The Giants out west are now 12-8. They once were 10-2. They were the top dog, and then they've kind of fumbled us around, gotten old in front of us. But at the same point, the Astros have kind of fumbled this thing a bit too. And the sleeping Dodgers may awaken and figure this thing out. So I have no idea what's going to happen now. The trends are all changing. This series opens up in Florida. It is Jim Barr for the Giants, Bruce Dalcanton, former Kansas City player, for the Marlins. This is an interesting game. A two-run homer by Fran Healy here. Triple by Mota, a couple singles, it's 2-2. Three singles, it's 3-2 Florida. They got another one in the sixth off of Jim Barr, who's struggling. It is a 4-3 game after Ed Goodson homer. And in the seventh inning, Willie McCovey ties it with a solo homer. This thing is 4-4. They go to the bullpen, but Jim Barr, it's too little too late. He loads the bases. They get a sac fly to make it 5-4, and that's the way it ends. The Marlins defend their home field in Florida by beating the Giants 5-4. Can they follow it up again in Game 2? Let's take a peek at Game 2, giving them all they can handle. Final score in this one, Giants win in extra innings 6-3. It is a Chris Spire three-run homer in the top of the 11th inning as both teams had to go through their bullpens. And unfortunately for the Marlins, they went through the entire pen, leaving their poor closer, 40-year-old Orlando Pena, out there for 2 1/3 innings. So that clearly hurt them. Otherwise, this was a very competitive, good game between a first-place Giants team and an also-ran Marlins team. The series is tied a game apiece. So the teams get on board their cross-country 707s and fly to the Bay Area for Game 3. Steve Arlen for Florida, Ron Bryant for the Giants. And this one, these Marlins, you can't put them away and then they come back and take the lead and you can't catch up to them. Giants get a 1-0 lead, but in the second inning, they bat around against Ron Bryant with 5 hits, take a 3-1 lead. Giants sac fly after a triple, it's 3-2. Solo homer Pagan, it's 4-2. 3 singles, it's 4-3. Marlins say, okay, you need us to get more runs, we'll get more runs. 4 singles in the 7th inning off of reliever Don Carruthers, makes it 6-3. Another RBI double in the 7th off of Mike Caldwell, makes it 7-3. But then the Giants decide that they need to do something remarkable, and Tom Bergmeyer, normally reliable lefty out of the Marlin pen, comes in and is terrible in the 8th inning. 2-run homers, 2 of them, to Chris Spire and to Gary Matthews. The game's tied at 7. You're thinking, oh, there you go. Now the Marlins are finally going to give up, right? No, they don't. In the 9th inning, single double, 2-run single by Ellie Rodriguez. 9-7 lead again. The Marlins score in the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9 innings in this game. They win this thing 9-7. Jose Pena closes it out, and they take a 2-1 series lead. And this is a developing story here. The Florida Marlins, I don't think they're that interesting, but the Giants are clearly fading now in the West after dominating early, and it's time to right the ship. Schedule's going to get harder after this, obviously. For the Marlins, trying to win Game 4 on the road and win the series 3-1, they will send recent draft pick Rich Folkers out of the Cardinals system. 73. He was 4-4 with a 3.62 ERA and 82 innings. He's a relief 3 starter 7. He is the only lefty starter on the team. And for the Giants, a player acquired in the Sam McDowell deal to Milwaukee, Bill Parsons, was a Brewer in 71, 13 wins, a 3.20 ERA, and 245 innings. And the Giants have clearly messed up that Gaylord Perry to the Indians trade, getting Sam McDowell in return, and then they quickly sent, after a year of Sam McDowell, they got tired of him quickly, and they flipped him to the Brewers for this Bill Parsons. So it's Game 4. The aging Giants trying to hold on here against the Marlins. Rich Folkers against Bill Parsons from San Francisco. Let's get started. Leading off, it'll be Vic Davalillo. 1-5 right away. Let's take a look at the Vic Davalillo card to start the game. He was a Pittsburgh Pirate in 72. Would lead that team in hitting, one of the billion outfielders that they couldn't afford to keep in Pittsburgh, along with Clemente and Stargell and Matty Alou and Al Oliver and Gene Clines and then Richie Zisk and then Dave Parker. It's just ridiculous. 1-5, homer, 1-10, double, it's a 2-base hit. Manny Mota, 46, second X. A couple good second basemen in this game, Fuentes and Mian. He's a 2-6. Makes the play, runner goes to third, and here is the other second baseman batting, Felix Mian. 58, pops to short, and with 2 outs, Willie Montanez. 2-9, rolls to short, Parsons strands the runner. Bottom of 1 in San Fran, their first start against a left-handed pitcher, see if that's the remedy for their woes. Bobby Bonds, 2-9, short. Crispier, crunchier, Chris Spire, 34, grounds to short. Willie McCovey, 2-6 is a walk. Dick Dietz, 2-8, probably a walk. Yeah, it's a walk. One of the all-time walk-leading catchers in baseball. Jay Elliott with 2 on and 2 outs. 4-10, center X. Your center fielder today is Louis Melendez, a 3-4, and he makes the catch. J.L. Lou is here in San Francisco. His 2 brothers are in Seattle, Philippe and Matty. Top of 2, it's Louis Melendez. 45 is a strikeout. Hal McRae, 2-6 is a single. Mary Groh, the Marlins love to hit and run if the opportunity presents itself, and they're going to take it here. Hit and run moves the runner up. That's what these expansion teams like to do, all kind of screwy, unconventional stuff to make up for the lack of general talent they have compared to your traditional major league teams. Runner is at second with 2 outs for Jose Pagan. 59 flies to center, and once again, Parsons strands a runner in scoring position. Ed Goodson, now DHing today against a lefty. 1-4, rolls a short. Gary Matthews was leading off, slumping. Put him down in the lineup a little bit, see if he can recover. 5-11, pitcher X off Folkers is an E17. 2E17, makes the play. Tito Fuentes, 2-7 is a base hit. And Bobby Heiss, 37, is also a base hit to center. Fuentes will not make the final out at third base. 2 on, 2 outs for Bobby Bonds. 65 off Folkers, second C. Runners have been on in both innings, and nothing's happened on the scoreboard. Ellie Rodriguez, 5'11", left X. This is Matthews at 2E6. He makes the catch. Vic Davalillo, 5'11", first C. And Mota, 2'9", rolls a third. And there's a nice inning for Parsons. Crispier, crunchier. Less calories. Chris Spire, 43, right X. This is Mota, a 3-2 in right field. And that's a single. Willie McCovey, 1-9. Let's take a look at the Willie McCovey card. You mentioned the Giants getting older, and that's because they're holding on for dear life to your Juan Marichals, to your Willie McCoveys, to your Bobby Bonds, to your Fuentes and Fran Healy's and Dick Dietz's and guys like that. And this is the McCovey card from '73 they held on to. Excellent card. He's old, but it's an excellent card. I'm not disputing that. But they ended up losing Gary Maddox in the draft this year because they had no room for him to go with older players. It could come back to haunt the Giants. 1-9, Homer 1/13, and it is indeed gone for Willie. His defense is also bad now as well. He's a 40-17. But anyway, it's 2-0. Dick Dietz, 310, is a base hit for Dietz. JLU, 210, pitcher A. And with 2 outs, it's easy. Ed Goodson, 55, is a walk. Gary Matthews, 53, pitcher B. All right, 2-zip in the fourth. It is Felix Mian, 210, short. Willie Montanez, 54, third X. This is Heiss, a 3-21, makes the play. And Louis Melendez, 2-3, lines second. Parsons getting a little stronger as he gets into this game. Bottom of the fourth, Fuentes, 45, Homer 1-4 double, it's 2-base hit. Bobby Heiss, 2-9, hit his card. Double 1-17, 2-base hit. Giants, 3-0. Bobby Bonds, 2-8 is a strikeout. Crispier, crunchier. Is it a floor wax? Is it a dessert topping? 2-6 is a walk. 2 on, 1 out for McCovey. 39 is a walk. They are loaded for Dick Dietz playing back. 6-2 center C, no sac fly, big play there, keeping the Marlins in the game. It is JLU, 310 is a single dot for JLU, and so much for keeping the Marlins in the game. It is now 5-zip with runners on the corners for easy Ed Goodson. 64 short X, 3E25, and that is an error on Mario Guerrero, and it's starting to come unglued here. For Folkers, it's now 6-0, and it's Gary Matthews with 2 men on. 58, second X. They need this play out of the 2E10 Mian. And he delivers a nice defensive play there. But it's 6-0 Marlins. That we have seen resistance from these guys. They will often fall behind and they come back and need to do it again. The Giants leaving the series up. Hal McRae in the fifth. 1-7, double 1-11, 2-base hit. Mario Guerrero, 1-11, rolls to second. Runner goes to third for Jose Pagan. 48, single off of Parsons, scores the run. 6-1. Heli Rodriguez. 4-4 off Parsons, third X. But you got the 3E21 of Heiss today. Is a ground ball C, so that will move Pagan to second. With 2 outs. For Davalillo, who's 1 for 2 today. 4-4 off Parsons, short X. This is Crispier, 2E22, and he makes the play. Bottom of the fifth. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Bottom of the fifth. Folkers. The Marlin bullpen has pitched a lot in this series, so even though Folkers is struggling, it'd be nice to give him, 5 innings or so, maybe 6 innings. Try and keep his team in the game when he's not pitching well. It'll be Tito Fuentes leading off. 2-6 pops to first. Bobby Heiss, 49 is a walk. Bobby Bonds, 67 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's crispier, crunchier. 4-4, it is a home run on Folkers if he got power. And my goodness, folks, Chris Spire has it both ways because he had 15 home runs in 1972. My goodness, folks, what a great little performance for him. And it is suddenly 8-1. Willie McCovey, 47, triple 1 and 19 off of Folkers, and he, barely gets it. That must have been a slow developing play. And Dick Dietz is a strikeout. Let's call it 5 for Folkers, and a disappointing start. 8-1, and you get one of these clunkers on YouTube every once in a while, folks. In the 6th we go, Manny Mota, 64, pops to second. Felix Millan, 38, short. And Montanez, 1-5. Let's take a look at Willie Montanez. 71 card, was a Philly, 30 bombs, 255 average, 600 some plate appearances. That is gone. That makes it 8-2. And Louis Melendez, second C. Well, we had a developing story, but it seems like the Giants are righting the ship and forcing a Game 5. Folkers leaves after 5. We'll go to Ken Reynolds in the 6th. Reynolds was a Philly in 72 with a 4.27 ERA in 154 innings. JLO leads off. 1-5 is a double. Easy Ed Goodson, 33, lines the third. Gary Matthews, 1-5, gone for him. And I'd be showing cards if it was more competitive, but it's turned into a laugher here. 46 is a walk. Bobby Heiss, 5'11's a K. And with 2 outs, it's Bobby Bonds, 37K. As the viewers flip the channel off, it is 10-2 in the 7th for the Giants. Parsons will take the afternoon off as bullpen needs work. In San Francisco, they'll start the 7th with Don Carruthers. Carruthers was a Giant in 71 with a 4.05 ERA in 80 innings. He will face Hal McRae. 67's a strikeout. Guerrero, 2-5 left. Jose Pagan, 4-10 short X, and Crispier makes the play. Bottom of the 7th. Reynolds is the long man. I'll go another inning. And here is Spire, 68, double 1-15, is 2-base hit. McCovey having himself a day, rolls 3-5. You saw that card. That is gone. Willie McCovey, the minute we mentioned he might be getting old, he plays scorched earth with a triple and 2 doubles and 4 RBI, a triple, 2 homers and 4 RBI. Dick Dietz, 210, center. JLU lines the third. Easy Ed Goodson rolls to first. We're rotating through bullpens here. We'll go Mike Caldwell in the 8th. Excellent draft pick. He was 14-5 with a 2.95 ERA in 74, and he has to be in the bullpen now. So the future looks bright for the starting rotation once Marichal gets old. They'll have Bryant, Barr, and Caldwell for some years, and that should bode well for the Giants. Ellie Rodriguez, 57 Ks. Davalio, 1-7's a double. Manny Mota, 2-11 lines to second. Felix putting me on. We are with a walk. 2 on, 2 outs for Montanez, who has a homer. 1-8 this time is a grounder to short. Reynolds leaves after 2. We'll bring in Jose Pena for the 8th. Pena was a Dodger reliever in 71 with a 3.56 ERA in 43 innings. One of those extra players that these expansion teams often get. A need to find guys playing on short sample sizes to be competitive. Gary Matthews, 2-5 single. Fuentes will hit and run, up 10. And moves the runner up on a hit and run. Bobby Heiss, 1-5. Single dot for Bobby Heiss. It is 13-2. No slaughter rule. Bobby Bonds, 48 is a walk. 2 on, 1 out. Chris Spire, 33. I'm running out of nicknames for Chris Spire because he's been up for the 6th time here. 33, fielder's choice. And with 2 outs, it's Willie McCovey, and he flies to right. Hell day will conclude with just the 3 extra base hits. 13-2 in the 9th, we'll go Charlie Williams in the 9th inning. He also is a nice little Giant starter relief guy in 74, a 2.79 ERA in 100 innings. You know, the Giants did not have a shortage of good pitching, particularly guys who could pitch in start and relief. And of course, in the decade, they'll have Lavelle, they'll have Moffitt, they'll have Minton, they'll have Al Holland. They'll have a really good pitching staff in San Francisco in this decade. The question is, ultimately, as this decade progresses, some pretty rickety defense and the batting averages will take a dip in chilly San Francisco with its uncomfortable weather in the summer. 13-2 in the 9th, it'll be Luis Melendez. 111 pops to second. McRae pops to second. And Guerrero, 46, lines to third. I guess the Marlins were thinking if we get a win, we can win this series back home in front of our friends in Florida. And that must be it. The teams split 4 games. And you get the perfect scenario of home road wins. Every scenario played out. Charlie Williams a scoreless 9th. Caldwell a hit, a walk, and a K. Carruthers struck out a guy. And Bill Parsons, the number 4 starter, a nice little win there. 5 hits and 2 runs. No walks and a strikeout. Jose Pena came on, gave up 2 hits, a run and a walk. Ken Reynolds, not very good. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits and 4 runs. A walk and 2 Ks. But Folker's was even worse than that. 10 hits, 8 runs. There's some unearned runs in there, which helps. 4 earned, 4 walks, 6 walks, 3 strikeouts. 1-0-9, 0-1-8, 13-16, 2-6, 13-16, 2-6, 1-3, 8-5, 8-5, 1-3. My goodness, 7 men on base for the Marlins, 24 men on base for the Giants. You could actually say it could have been worse. So the Giants respond to the criticism. Probably had one of those closed-door meetings. I don't know what those things do, but you hear about them in the news. Get themselves a victory, force a Game 5, back to Florida. I believe we'll see Juan Marichal in that for the Giants. We'll see who the Marlins unfurl. So the Giants are now 13-8, in control of their destiny. They're in good shape still. They just got to continue to win, and they'll be fine. Hitting .253 with a 3.24 ERA. Marichal will get the start in Game 5. He is 4-2. And it'll be Bruce Del Canton for the Florida team. Let's go take a peek at them. The Florida Marlins, interesting collection of players there. They have 7 wins, and interestingly, they got them from 7 different pitchers. Now, how unique is that? I don't know what that means. 7-12 with nobody with 2 wins. Well, at least it means they share the responsibility of pitching amongst the staff. That's a good sign, I suppose. They're hitting .290, but a 5.08 ERA has dashed their hopes this season. Bergmeyer and Pena, the back end has been awful this year. That'll hurt in a young team. 4 home runs for Montanez lead the squad. 13 RBI for Hal McRae. 31 hits for Vic Davalillo. 31 for 82. I'd like to say the Pirates miss him, but you know what the Pirates have, so. Davalillo's hitting .378. My goodness. We have played 294 games to this point, and we're steadying at a .260 league batting average, and there it is. The league ERA is now .362, creeping up. It was around .320, .330, .40, .50. It's up to .360. It's the warm weather and the offenses are now sequenced properly. The lineups are sequenced and the hitters are teeing off in the summer months. Thanks for checking this out. We'll give you the results of Game 5 at the end of the video, and we'll see you next time. Well, baseball fans, here's the box score of the Giants' rout in Game 4, evening the series 2 games to piece, a 13-2 victory. So the teams will fly across country for a Game 5. Obviously, the flight seemed to help one team more than the others, and that is the home cooking of the Florida Marlins, getting that Cuban sandwich or two, because Juan Marichal versus Bruce Del Canton, and Marichal just did not have it today. Bottom of the third, a homer by Roger Repos, single, Spire makes an error. You get a 2-run triple by Vic Davalillo, a sac fly by Manny Mota. There's 4 runs. Then you have a solo homer by Repos again in the 4th inning. They tack on a run in the 8th off of the Giant pen. Meanwhile, the story today is Bruce Del Canton. 7 innings, 5 hits, hits a point of weakness. He walks a couple guys in the 7th and a hit and a walk in the 8th to protect him with a shutout. He is pulled. Bergmeyer gets a double play ball. That's timely. And Orlando Pena finishes the shutout. 3 pitchers of the Marlins combine to shut out the Giants 6-0 in a Game 5. Break it up for the Florida Marlins. They win this series 3 games to 2. Teams alternating. Florida winning odd-numbered games 1, 3, and 5. And the teams will take just a little peek here at who they will face in the final series for the All-Star break. The Giants will indeed play the Dodgers in a series before the All-Star break, which could indicate who gets first place going into the break. Meanwhile, the Dodgers are playing the Padres in a best-of-7 next. Your Marlins, well, they're just happy to play baseball, frankly. They will play Atlanta. They could play spoiler, of course, to the high-flying Atlanta Braves. And boy, that series should be a high-scoring series with the Florida bats. That's it today, folks. Thanks for checking out. Congratulations, Florida Marlins, to win this series 3 games to 2. We'll see you next time.